here we are, guys. I have to apologize because the information that we received on Tuesday, that I brought out on Tuesday's call 2 nights ago, did not come true for us yesterday, which was Wednesday. Today being Thursday, of course, we did get more information. We did get hopefully better, more reliable intel to pass on. I was pretty confident. I did everything but call it Tuesday night. And maybe I kind of almost did. But I'm not going to call it tonight, but I'll tell you the information we're getting is looking very good. Very good. We know that they want to get this to us before Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is a week from today. I really think where we are now, let's go back and talk briefly about other things, and then I'll come in on what we want to hear about on our timing. The Restitution and Reclamation Allowance, which I refer to as R&R, is set to start on Thanksgiving night for everyone who is not exchanging currencies. And there's a bunch of people, obviously, seniors, and they're calling seniors 60 and older. 60 and older will get a lump sum amount of R&R, and it's going to be substantial. Everybody that's older, 60 and older, is going to get a pretty good chunk. And I can't say how much it's going to be because it's going to be different for everybody. So, but that's good to know that that's coming. So even though those of us who have M and other currencies are going to have quite a bit more to work with for our projects, there will be enough for people to really change their lives quite a bit. So keep that in mind. It's going to start for us when we go to the Redemption Center and we open up and activate our quantum accounts. Remember, that's the account where all the proceeds from our exchanges go, and then from that point we move funds about up to 1.6, 1.8 maybe billion into our Wells Fargo account, which is what I'm calling my primary account. Now, if you have LLCs in place, already set up, and you want to open a bank account for each one of those, which I'm going to do, you would be able to move more funds from your quantum into those accounts. They're almost like sub-accounts. Primary Wells account is where you move the money to begin with, and then if you want to move some into your sub-accounts, which would be your secondary accounts, I guess, primary and secondary, then you can do that too. And they want you to move what you'll use in the first 6 months, and then after that time, we should be able to move as much as we need to, as much as we want, from the quantum account into the Wells account. Or if you have one or two other banks you want to tie in to your quantum card, you can do that. I believe they want you to have no more than 3 banks that are actually able to receive the funds from your quantum account. So Wells and maybe 2 other key banks that would work for you. It might not work to use credit bureaus, like some of the smaller banks, the tier 3, tier 4 banks, is probably not going to work because you're in a different game. You're really in a totally different world when you're not even going to be going to the retail bank anymore. You don't even go into your normal bank where you go right now, if you're going in at all. You're going to be able to just do this banking online from your new Q phone that they'll give you. If you're a Zim holder, you'll get one of those at the Redemption Center when you leave. So they have that designed so that you can do that securely from a Q phone. Otherwise, that's really the timing is starting on the 28th, which is a week from tonight, of November. All right? So, but if you're like us that are going in for exchanges, which we believe will be before then, and I'll get to that in a moment or two, when we get in there, we will have our funds already in our quantum account. But when you go in and you activate it and you see the screen that shows how much you have from your R&R, what you want to do is write that number down on a pad when you're in there so that you'll remember how much of your balance was your restitution and reclamation allowance. Because it's going to vary, and it's not going to, maybe some of you go, well, I don't care, I've got Zim, it won't really matter, and I know what you're saying. but it'd be kind of nice to know how much it was. How much did you pay in taxes? Did you pay in interest? Did you pay in mortgage interest, credit card interest? All of that stuff you get back, and then also, well, there's more to it. I won't get too deep into it, but you'll know whether you're, it'll all be in one total. It won't be broken down, but you'll know, for example, that your birth certificate was traded, marriage license traded, divorce decree traded on, everything, even death certificate was traded on. There's all kinds of ways that they try to make money on us. We're going to get that money back. That's part of NESARA, N-E-S-A-R-A. That's all part of NESARA. Okay, so that'll be good to look into. Social Security increases, I believe, will end up being more like first week of December. I've been told it could happen at the end of this month, but I'm not going to bank on that. I think we're going to get that Social Security increase in December. So be looking for that. Keep your eyes open for that. Bob had mentioned to me, someone who wrote in and said, what happens if I die? Will my monies or funds be able to be used or picked up by someone else? Well, that is a great question. And the answer is, do you have your estate planning started at least yet? Do you have an estate planning attorney that you have worked with to build a trust for you and get your desires, your trustees and beneficiaries, successor trustees, all of that lined out yet? Do you have that in case something happens to you? It's something to look into. It's something to look into right away. And I'm going to tell you that the Wells Fargo Wealth Management side of the bank will be able to provide these services for us. Now, there'll be other attorneys that you might want to contact that are specifically estate planning attorneys. I have one and I've used that has worked beautifully in putting my estate plan together. But, from time to time, you have to tweak it. You have to make some changes in it. So definitely that is important to make sure you have that and put it in place as soon as possible. A lot of you think, well, I don't have an estate now. I don't have any money. I don't have anything to really, bequeath to a beneficiary. But you sure will be after these exchanges. So make sure that you are in contact with the estate planning attorney and maybe go through Wells, maybe go through their trust department. Maybe give that a shot. Or if you have another bank that you like, look at them and see what they have. But that's definitely something that needs to be addressed, and sooner rather than later. They don't really want anybody walking out of the redemption center and having an issue and passing away without a trust in place. But so make sure that you're able to look into that and get that set up as soon as you can. Okay, let's just say it that way, as soon as you can. So that's the answer to that question. The only way and I would recommend using estate planning with trusts because it keeps all of this information private. See, if you didn't have any of that and you had a will, you say, oh, I got my will. Well, so is everybody else, because everybody else is going to see it. It's public. It becomes public information. You don't want to just use a will. The only will you want to put out is something called a living will. And that's your final instructions should something happen to you and it looks like it's the end of life for you. And this is end of life type wishes that you want to put in to your living will. That's a part of your estate plan. Okay, so you want to get that set up too. And if you don't have that, your estate, whatever's left of you, will go through probate, and that's where the state takes a piece of the action and also can slow down and delay the funding of everything to people that you wish to have the money. So there's a lot to this, and it's more than an afternoon, but you can get it started with an hour or an hour and a half appointment. You can do a really good job on knocking this out, and then you can always come back with your attorney and tweak it and come back in and make these fine-tuning adjustments to it. And you might want to have new names that you put in as trustees. You might want to put in new beneficiaries. You might want to change, as your family grows and, people come and go in your family. You might want to look into that too. All right. So But I wanted to say that. Now, Social Security increases, I said, I think it'll be, and there'll be substantial increases. Some people that are getting $300, $300, $400, $3,500 now might see themselves around $5,000 a month. And that's great. It won't be that significant to us if we have, these exchanges and Zim to redeem. But look, don't look a gift horse in the mouth, right? And that's what it's going to be. Also, I don't believe our Medicare, which everybody's getting bombarded with Medicare calls and Medicare commercials and so on. Medicare was supposed to be free to us and not even cost us the $170 or $200 premium per month. It's taken out of our Social Security check right now, or direct deposit. That should change under President Trump. We should have that going away. And we'll see, we'll learn more and more about that in the coming months. Okay? Let's see, what else before we get to the heart of the matter? Okay. I think the next piece is what we thought would happen Tuesday, or rather yesterday, Wednesday, and we did not get it. But we're hearing two different things. Two of our sources are saying that we look like we will be notified tomorrow, Friday. Depending on what time we get notified, if it were before noon, could we exchange tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow evening? We believe the answer is yes. If the numbers don't come out till later in the day, it's setting us up to set our appointments and start probably on Saturday. So it's Friday, Saturday right now. Now, if what we had heard besides these two sources was that we should get notified over the weekend, which starts Friday for them, Friday, Saturday, we would get notified Friday, Saturday with our emails and start our exchanges early next week, like Monday. I don't even want to go to Tuesday, Monday. Now, yes, that is possible, but the Treasury was looking this thing over pretty carefully, and they thought, rather than do it that day, we'd rather do it a day earlier, which would put us, instead of being notified Saturday, that we would get notified Friday. So I'm holding out that it might be tomorrow for us. I'm not calling it like I just about did on Tuesday night, but it looks very good for us to get this and to have the exchanges at least well underway before Thanksgiving. Remember, for everybody else, R&R comes out Thanksgiving night. That's when it starts to come out. And that will show up in accounts that they know are Social Security bank accounts. That could show up in your Social Security accounts as this R&R deposit. It's going to blow the minds, I think, of a lot of bankers that really don't have a clue what's going on. They really don't. So we'll see how that goes. But let's say you're a young person and you're 30 years old to age 45 in that 15-year gap. You're going to get your R&R over a 3-year period, once a month, which is 36 months. You'll get an amount directly deposited into your bank account. Now, if they don't have your bank account for some reason, they'll have to send you something to get your bank account information. And if you're in the second group, which is age, say, 45 or 46 to age 60, then you get your R&R over a 2-year period, once a month for 2 years, say 24 payments monthly to you. All right? And that'll be good. It'll be substantial. It won't be like getting a lump sum all at once, like if you're 60 or older, and the older you are, the chances are the bigger the amount. It's based on how much you paid in taxes, paid on how long they traded on your birth certificate, death certificate, marriage license, divorce decrees, all that stuff. All tradable as bonds, BONDS, like bonds. So, that's what I wanted to say about that. Make sure you get your estate planning set up as soon as you can after the exchange. If you've got it set up now and you have your trust documents, bring them in when you do your exchanges and redemption of them. Bring them into the redemption center because they will set up, read your trust documents. Probably affidavit of trust may do it, but you might need to bring a copy of the entire trust. I would bring an entire copy of it. and that way they'll be able to set up your bank account in the name of the trust and do it that way. And then you can do all that other. Be prepared and maybe practice. You know what you're going to have to do for your quantum account to activate it? First of all, you need a fingerprint or thumbprint. Pick a hand, any hand. I don't know if it'll matter. But you'll have that. Then you need a username. That'll be brand new. There'll be a password for the username. That'll be brand new. You'll have a 5-digit PIN code that you'll create. That'll be brand new. You'll have an email, brand new email, that you'll be setting up. And, of course, you need a new password to get into your email. So however many things that is, I think there's 7 different things you're going to need. You might want to write a few things down so that you take them in and you're sort of ready to go on your quantum. You're ready to go on getting that quantum card. They will print those cards out for you, okay? They'll have them there when you go in. As you sit down and you go through, you give up your currencies, and they go ahead and count them on the do-that-loo machine, and they verify and count it and all that stuff. And you're talking about the rates of the currencies and so on. They're offering you what we believe they're going to offer us at the Redemption Center only. Only, O-N-L-Y, only. You're going to get a contract rate offered to you on your dinar. I've told you 100 times what the Zim is going to be worth if you're redeeming Zim. Dong is going to be a great rate, way better than certain people thought it would ever be. And then the other currencies are doing well too. They're all going to be good. And President Trump has set this up where we will get the highest potential available rates through the redemption centers. Now let's talk about the redemption centers for a minute. They've got the leaders that send out the emails to the redemption centers, and the leaders that send them out to the banks have received their emails for both redemption center and banks to be sent out. And our understanding is that they will probably go out sometime tomorrow. I don't know when, if it'll be morning, before noon. It's quite likely that it would be. And then the leaders all right, let me explain this. So certain people east and west of the Mississippi River are in charge of getting those numbers out to the redemption center leaders and all the redemption centers across this country. Canada has their deal. We have ours. Mexico is using primarily Banco Santander and HSBC, but there might be some other banks too. Maybe, what's it called, Banamex? Bank of Mexico? Banamex? I don't know. But I would say this, keep an eye on your email tomorrow. Let's see if they come in, and then set your appointment. And if you need some time to get all your act together, go ahead and take the time you need. You don't have to be the first one in. You know, I'd like to get mine done tomorrow. I'd like to tomorrow night. But if I have to go Saturday, that's cool too. Doesn't matter that much. So, if this comes through as we're being told, and we do get it tomorrow, praise God, that's great. We're off and running. If it comes in Saturday, and we can exchange on Saturday, great. Otherwise, it'll probably be the first of the week. But we want to get this knocked out as many as we can before next Thursday for Thanksgiving. Will they exchange on Thanksgiving? I would not put it past them. I would say it's possible that certain people could exchange on that day, and the people that are working in the redemption centers might work a shift, might be 3 shifts, and they get off, or they come in the afternoon and they've had their Thanksgiving, or they come in the morning and they have their Thanksgiving that afternoon or evening. I mean, I would not be surprised if they do exchanges on Thursday. Not saying they will, but they might. And they'll go through with this until they've got all the Zim in as soon as possible, of course. That's their first concern. And then after that, all the other currencies. So, I think that's everything I wanted to cover, with the exception of